Welcome back. I haven't been here for a little while. We've had a busy summer, lots of weddings. And if you don't know, I've launched a new website where all of our online courses are now far more accessible. Before I start with today's tutorial, please subscribe to the channel. The majority of the watchers aren't subscribers, and it really does help other people find the channel if you subscribe. Don't forget, you can like, share with your friends and family, and please comment in the box below because it really does help other people find us, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Now, you've probably guessed already, we're almost heading into the autumn, and I'm going to start with a pumpkin flower arrangement. You will already find 3 arrangements from last year on the channel, so if you're looking for a variation in the pumpkin design, there's 3 more videos for you to watch. This one is a ceramic pumpkin that comes from Home Bargains, which is a store here in the UK. Last year I had them from the wholesalers, but this year they seem to be available in more shops. So if you want to have a go of creating this design, you can buy these quite easily in Home Bargains. You can get something similar in Hobbycraft as well. And if you want to just use an ordinary pumpkin, then just scoop out the middle, line it with some plastic wrap or some cling film to waterproof it, and follow the instructions the same way as I'm going to do for today's design. Now, I'm going to be using floral foam for this design, but you could quite successfully do this with wire netting, and you might find that that's how I did one of last year's designs. So if you're looking for a more environmentally friendly option, then squishing up some chicken wire in the base here is going to be really quite successful. This is 2/3 of a block of foam. It's the black foam, it's called Noir. It's not a new product, but I happen to have a full box here, and the theory behind it is that it's easier to hide and you don't have to use so many flowers and so many foliages. What I will do towards the end is sit my little pumpkin lid on the top. So the main arrangement is going to be round here in a circle. But you can do this in a variety of ways. You can pop the little hat on at the back in a fairly jaunty position. You can leave the hat off completely and rest it nicely on the side. But I'm going to do that little hat there on the top. And what I will do to support the lid is to use some kebab sticks, or I've actually got pampas grass today. Now, I've just done a pampas grass wedding, and I thought these would be quite strong branches, or stems probably, that would be suitable to hold up my lid. But I'm going to do that at the end. So what we will do is insert 4 pieces, maybe 5, and then that will hold my lid. But we'll do that towards the end. So as I'm going along through the demonstration, I won't be putting any flowers in this top section here. I'm just going to work them round the outside. The majority of what I've got today is supermarket flowers, and I'm going to start with these beautiful orange, oh, we don't want those quite yet, these beautiful orange roses. Now, this is one of my favourite roses from the supermarket because it opens up really nicely, and it has quite an unusual angular shaped head when it opens. And if you've seen me do videos on YouTube before and I've used an orange rose, then it's normally this variety. I've had them for a little while here to get them to open slightly, and the foliage is looking a bit sad, so we're going to remove everything. And what I'm going to do is arrange all of the flowers in a fairly similar length. I'm thinking that that's going to be a bit too long, so let's start with estimating how big my design is going to be. It's not particularly huge. To keep the flowers in proportion with my pumpkin, I'm guessing that's probably about 2 inches. And what I'm going to do first of all is start by using the roses, because I have quite a lot of them, and I'm going to make a fairly circular outline shape with them. Now, I started working away from me facing the camera, but as we progress on, I'll change the angle so that I can see what I'm doing. And it's a radial design, so all our stems are aimed towards the centre. And to prevent that really solid line around the outside, I'm going to start moving them up and down. So we've got some variation in heights. That I think is a little bit too high, remembering that my lid is going to sit on the top. Right, so I'm not quite sure how many I've got because I didn't count them before I started, but I'm not making a set pattern, but I'm trying to get this lovely bright autumnal orange all the way around. You could quite successfully do this arrangement with all roses and just a little bit of a filler flower. You could use gypsophila or some garden greenery, but I've got a few supermarket flowers, but things that you might not have seen before, that are left over from one of this week's lessons, one of this week's online lessons. Now you'll see that I've created a fairly good circular design. Doesn't matter if they're not perfectly lined up with one another, but we've got orange in all different directions, front and back, left and right. And this is a design that will be ideal for the center of a table, because you could see it from all around. You could sit it on your front door. You could add some pretty fairy lights in there if you wanted to. And if you prefer, look back at one of the front-facing videos and you could adapt this and have a design that's facing forward rather than it's all around like this. Now the following, or the remainder of the flowers that I've got, oh, hang on, I've got one more orange rose. So let's get that in on this side. Now the majority of the flowers I've got today have already been cut short because we're in the middle of the summer collection online and these were used in this week's lesson. If you don't already know and you haven't been following me before, I run loads of online classes and they're now all accessible via the website, and I'll just link the website below. So if you want to learn Christmas designs, we've got some bridal hand tie designs on there, we've got ordinary hand ties, and then we've got a series of 10-week courses that have run from last autumn. So there's 4 of them all together. You can subscribe to the channel for just £49 a month, or you can buy each standalone course for £295, and that's 10 lessons, and they're all at least an hour long. You get a printable handout to go with it, so they're really, really good value for money. And they're designs that you won't see me do here on the YouTube channel. They're proper lessons, proper step-by-step tutorials. Okay, so if we just turn that around, you can see I've introduced a really dark red rose. I've got another one to go with it. I'm not going to place them directly opposite one another because I don't want to make too much of a formal design. I haven't got any foliage to go in this arrangement because I know many of you struggle to get foliage if you're arranging at home. So I'm just going to really compact it with lots of different flowers. Everything I've used so far has come from the supermarket. The orange roses are from Morrison's, and the mixed bunch that had the red rose and the Protea and the chrysanthemum all come from Morrison's, which is a UK store. I'm just going to tuck my Chrysanthemum Blooms in between 2 of the roses wherever I've got a gap, remembering that I've already cut these flowers down really short because they were in a previous arrangement. But you can see we've got that really compact, quite a trendy style which doesn't have any foliage in it at all. Now from a separate bunch, I've got some beautiful, very vibrant gerbera. Gorgeous cerise colour. So we're looking at really, really tropical colours today, something quite vibrant. Not really particularly scary. We don't have any dark colours or any sombre colour combinations. Something vibrant and quite autumnal. And you can really adapt this design to a style, whatever style you like, because it's quite a small container and you don't really need to have a huge amount of flowers. Right, now some of these gerbera are a little bit short, so I'm going to have to tuck them in really quite close to the foam. That one's being a bit stubborn and not staying where I want it to go. But overall, we've got a fairly round shape. I'm not too concerned if it's not perfectly round, but what we're trying to do is to repeat the shape of that container on the bottom. Right, one more gerbera. I'm just looking to see where I can tuck it in. And if you can't get hold of a supermarket bunch like this that has a variety of stems and flowers in it, then some simple chrysanthemums in different colours would work just as well. But really consider having big flower heads rather than little spray carnations or little spray roses. Bigger flower head is going to work much better. Now, just at the front here, or the side, wherever that happens to be, you can see I've got two quite big gaps, and that is going to lend itself really well to this trailing amaranthus, which I thought gave a lovely autumnal, sort of almost Halloween look to it. These were recently used in a flower demonstration, and I've got a few left over. That needs to be a bit shorter, and I thought that the colours were going to work really, really well, and that's going to beautifully drape down there over the front. And what I'm actually going to do there is put a bit of a concentration of two of them together, either side of that orangey rose. And even though the design is front facing, I'm going to group two on this side and sort of group two over on the opposite side, because it tends to give a more modern feel alongside the groupings and the placements of flowers that I've already added. Isn't that lovely? So textural, beautiful, unusual flower. You probably won't get these in a supermarket, at least you won't here in the UK, but you might get them from a florist shop if you ordered them in. They're really easy to grow in the garden, even I can grow them. And you can get them in a variety of colours. So burgundy shades, dark reds, this lovely lime green, and you can get them in a orangey biscuit colour as well. Right, so let's have a little look where I think this one needs to go. I'm thinking that that position there is working quite well. So I'm going to angle it over the top. Hopefully it's going to drape quite nicely down over those flowers at the front. Now the amaranthus is a really long lasting flower, and this whole hedge here is packed with seeds. So if you're lucky enough to ever have these delivered in a bouquet of flowers, dry it off, and then you're going to have loads of seeds for the following year. Now I think I'm going to move my top chrysanthemum, because I'm thinking when I put the pumpkin lid back on, I'm probably going to lose some of that chrysanthemum there. So I'm going to move that one more round and tuck it in just where those amaranthus are at the front. And hopefully then when I put my lid back on, that centerpiece of floral foam is still going to be visible. And by removing the lid, I'm going to be able to keep that floral foam topped up and keep it wet. So now's the moment of truth. Let's just cut some of this pampas grass, and these are really heavy, solid stems. So I'm hoping that it's going to support the lid of my pumpkin really well. So we'll start off with 4, and then I'll pop one in the middle as well. So I've aimed to have almost like 4 stilts there in the middle. I'll tip it forward for you to see, and then I've got one in the middle, and hopefully that's really going to support the lid of my pumpkin. I might have to push them down, but we'll see how that's going. Now if I spin that around, it's sitting a little bit proud of all my flowers, so I'm just going to keep pushing it down until I get it into a position that I feel works well. And this side, if I just spin this round, I've got a slight gap here, and by pulling back that gerbera, I think I will be able to fill and hide that little bit of floral foam. It's just a case of a bit of jiggery pokery to move them around. Oh, and I think that's worked so well. I can just see the white rim of the lid, so we'll push it down a little bit further, and I'm really delighted with that. So if you haven't got the ceramic pumpkin like I have, don't worry, just buy an ordinary pumpkin, hollow it out, line it with a plastic bag, and then add in your flowers. You can even add a fresh pumpkin lid to the top of your design, and you will find that in a tutorial that I did for last Halloween. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, you've got to like and subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you can be told every time I upload a new video. Let all your friends and family know. Leave a comment in the box below, ask a question, let me know where you're watching from. Pop over to the website and see what courses are coming along. So thanks for watching, see you very soon, and goodbye for now.